Hello my friends and welcome back to JP Gaming. So the Stellar Blade demo is out. Stellar Blade, upcoming game by developer Shift Up, is out on the PS5. It's coming on the 26th of April 2024, so we're not far away from it now. And I've just gone and downloaded myself the PS5 demo. I've just given it a playthrough. I've just finished my first playthrough. So let's find out what I thought of the Stellar Blade demo. So Stellar Blade has been in development for a while. It was originally called Project Eve, and I believe it was meant to be out on the PS4, Windows and Xbox One. But it's since been pushed back. It's now a PS5 exclusive and it's being published by Sony. Since this game was announced at the State of Play, I've kept my eye on it because it looked very much like Bayonetta. I'm a big Bayonetta fan, so I was really excited what's to come. It looks absolutely beautiful as well. So when I heard that the demo was released, I had to go check it out to see what we can expect from the game. So I've run through the demo once. I'm going to tell you what I thought of it, tell you about the gameplay mechanics, and at the end I'll let you know if I'm going to pick up this game or not. So story wise, we don't really know much from the demo. It basically starts with a big bang. The protagonist Eve, she comes crashing to ground in her pod. She's then rescued by her companion, and it kind of opens up a little tutorial section where you're running through. It introduces you to the basics and the mechanics. So square is light attack, triangle is heavy attack, there's a dodge with circle, and there's a parry with L1. It's all pretty basic stuff for the tutorial. You run through and then you have a kind of mini boss fight. Once that's ended, we get a nice little cutscene and you end up in the main portion of the game where the fun really starts. So first things first, we'll touch on a number of graphics options. There's performance, there's resolution, and there's balance. I played it on balance mode because I figured that would probably be the best option. There's also a number of core accessibility options, such as auto targeting, etc. But the main one for me, and the only one that I activated, was auto loot, because as you're running around and you kill enemies or you break up chests, there's loot that you can collect, and you have to hit R2 to collect that. Now you can hold down R2 and it will collect as you run around, but I didn't really want to be doing that, so I turned auto loot on just to take away the hassle of just keep pressing R2 all the time. But other than that, I played the game on normal with all of the default options. So the combat feels very slick. It is very much like Bayonetta, but also with a lot of Souls-like mechanics in it. The game can be quite challenging, and I've got to admit I actually died a couple of times until it fully clicked with me, and then once I mastered the dodge and the parry, I was fully in my groove and I was slaying through the enemies. The combat's sleek and it's fun. You can chain combos together, you can unlock skills. There's a number of upgrades that look like they're going to be available. There's a skill tree and it can unlock a number of skills. So as you're fighting, as you do a perfect dodge or a perfect parry, you receive beta, which charges your special skills. You use these with L1 plus one of the face buttons depending on what skill is assigned to each button. From the demo, it very much feels like parrying and dodging are going to be a big part of this game. It does feel like it's going to be more of a Souls-like than say a Bayonetta, but that's not a bad thing, that's good. Like I say, I really enjoyed the combat. It was good fun once it fully clicked for me. The last thing on the combat, much like many other games, the enemies have certain coloured combat indicators or attack indicators. So red means that they're going to go into a frenzy. You can dodge or you can parry these, but they're very fast, so you have to be ready for them. Yellow means they're unavoidable, so it's best to get out of the way or get ready for your dodge. If you can hit a perfect dodge, ideal, because you can hit them with a perfectly timed counter. And when they go blue, you can unlock a skill that is a blink, and if you time that right, you blink behind the enemy and you unload, you hit your counter and you unload massive amounts of damage. Once this clicked for me and once I unlocked this skill, that was when I really started to have fun and I was well in my groove. Much like in other Souls-like games, there's little camp areas that you can go to as you're exploring the area. Once you explore the area, you can come to a campsite. These come in two forms. There's a main camp and there's like a smaller camp. Once you go there, you can rest, you replenish your health, replenish all of your potions, you can unlock your skills, and obviously enemies will respawn. When you're at one of the main camps, you get a few extra options at your camp, so you can upgrade your weapons, etc. with all of the loot that you've collected. It does seem like there's going to be quite a, I wouldn't say deep, but quite a in-depth upgrade system in this game. It'd be interesting to see how exactly fleshed out it is once the full game comes out. Like I touched on at the start, the story, we don't really know much about it. You basically get what's there at the start of the story. You do that little intro bit, you go into the main game, you run through a little area, and then you come to a big boss fight. The boss fight is very good. I really enjoyed the boss fight, and then that's pretty much the end of the demo. All in all, it took probably about 40 to 45 minutes for me, but once the demo's finished, you can go into boss rush mode, which I've not done, but apparently that gives you a harder challenge on the boss, and you can unlock some suits and play around with the upgrades a little bit more. I do intend to try the boss rush mode out because I did enjoy the game and I'd like to experiment with it a little bit more and put a bit more time in with it. Graphically, the game looks amazing. Like I say, I played it on balance. The game looked very smooth, it's very polished, there was no frame rate drops, I had no clunkiness, no nothing. I know some people have experienced issues with clunkiness. Maybe I've read that if you turn on game mode on your TV, that helps sort that. Maybe that's just an issue for some people, I'm not sure, but for me, it felt very smooth. I didn't have any issues. It felt very fun and very smooth to play. I'd also like to mention the rumble. It felt very impressive. It was really, really nice, especially in the cutscenes. It just gives you that little bit of extra immersion. I know a lot of games are starting to utilise the PS5 rumble and the adaptive triggers a lot more now, but this certainly, from what I've played recently, this feels like one of the better ones. So that was my review of the Stellar Blade demo, available now on the PS5. I was very impressed with it. It wasn't quite what I was expecting, because I thought it was going to be more Bayonetta than a Souls-like, but like I said, that isn't necessarily a bad thing. I wouldn't say the game was like totally brutal. It's just got a bit of challenge there, and it's going to have a little bit of a learning curve, especially if you're not used to the games with the parrying mechanic. I know a lot of games use that nowadays, so most people might have some form of like familiarity with it. So am I going to be buying this game? I think I am. I might not pick it up straight away, and that's purely because of my backlog. I've got quite a lot of stuff to play. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth took a big chunk of my time, so I'm trying to catch up with some other games. But this is one that I'm definitely interested in, and I will be picking it up at some point. The demo has given me more than enough to know that I want the game, and I'm looking forward to playing the demo a little bit more and picking the full game up at some point in the near future. So that was it, guys. That was my review of the Stellar Blade demo, available on the PS5. As always, if you like what you see, hit the like button, leave me a comment in the comments below, hit the subscribe and get involved in the conversation. So that was it, until the next video. As always, have fun, play games, stay safe and enjoy yourself. This was JP Gaming, and we are out.